first time. All of the arrangements on the table are compliments of Dory. They're for sale, and they're $15, and unfortunately it'll be cash or check, because we're not set up for anything else today. And $5 of every one she sells comes back to us. So it's an opportunity to help us too. Dory has Dory's Garden, and it's over in the Brook Street area, and you can tell she has fabulous stuff, and she's going to show us the secret to having that pot on the front porch that looks great. This is Dory Hersey. Everybody make her welcome.
Well, it's just a pleasure to be here. I'm so honored for Madeline to call and request that I come and speak to you ladies. And of course, this is my passion, so it's very easy to share that with you ladies. And I hope there's some gardeners in here that can maybe even help me along with what I share, that we can all learn from each other. So she was saying that, container gardening is something that everybody can do, because it's just getting a pot, and if you know some basic principles, you can put together something beautiful. And what's so fun is that you can change it out by the season. So I'm going to give you some different tips, the mechanics of how to do it and be successful at it, and then also some design ideas. And so, of course, we're coming into fall now. Now that the weather's changed, we have lots of fun flowers to work with. So we've got our snaps and the pansies, and these peppers will last for a while till it's cold. Of course, the mums are just coming out. Kale will go through the winter. So a lot of times I'll combine some things that will last through the winter and then things I can pull out as they decline and pop in some new color. So the thing that you have to think about is your pot going to be in the sun or the shade? Because that determines what flowers you're going to put in there. And also, are you going to want them to last through the season? And sometimes you just change them out twice a year, in the springtime and in the fall. And then there's some plants that you can put in there that will last continually through the summer, through the winter. So you like to think about those things. And so you can use such a variety of containers. I love to have found objects. You may have a classic urn, which is a lovely piece to plant in also. But sometimes you get tired of what's in there. So if you use something like this product, it's called a Smart Pot. You can pop that in your big pot if you have a huge pot. Fill the bottom with plastic water bottles so it's not so heavy to move. And then just put this in the top. And if you have one or two of these, you can just pull out the old one and plant up another one and put it back in. So that's one thing that's really fun to do. So I had a little bit of time after I set up before the lunch started. So I went over to the store and I found several pieces that are on the table here just to add a little bit of interest. I'm going to show you how to use an unusual container and just for a tabletop or whatever you want to use with it. So let's see, well, I did find this little cute thing, and it does not have a hole in it, but you could certainly punch a hole in the bottom if you want to plant right in it. But I would recommend putting in, there's 3 different things I like to line pots with. There is landscape fabric that you can cut up, or there is, sorry, I'm not used to working with a mic here. There's a window screen, which is really great for something that has holes in it, like a colander. That makes a great planter, but you don't want the soil to leak out of it. Then there's the coconut, which the squirrels love, and but it makes a nice look. But I am really sold on these smart pots, and I hate to keep harping on them, but they just work. And so for a hanging basket, that's an alternative from the coconut, and that's going to last you for years and years. So it's a, for this size, maybe a $5 investment, and it will just continue on. It holds the dirt in quite well, it doesn't rot. So those are some ideas. I might have to put this down or ask my friend Michelle, who helps me with videos in Dory's Gardens. We've been doing these fun little tutorial videos, which are a lot like what I'm talking about today. And so she has learned how to put together container gardens and even got compliments by her husband that they look really good. So she's going to be my assistant today. So I'll let you hold this, yes, because it is a two-handed thing. Okay, so here's a cute little basket. And I do have the screen in that and some coconut in the top. So I probably won't take it all together, but see, look what happens when you just put in a couple of little flowers and
pretend you don't see the pots, but there you go. Cute little arrangement. You know, everybody's got something like this around. If not, you'll probably find something today in the building next door. A lot of people are loving succulents right now. So there's so many cute containers, but they don't have holes in them. And succulents need good drainage. So I have found that you put this landscape charcoal in the bottom instead of the gravel. It just works better. It filters it through, like for an aquarium or a terrarium or orchids, they use this a lot, but make sure it's landscape charcoal, not the kind that you put in your barbecue. So I just put that in a couple of inches depending on the depth of the planter. But see, that's gonna, I don't know if you can see that, it's about 2 inches. And then the best way to do it really is to put a window screen, over the top, because then what happens is the dirt cannot filter through the charcoal and just make it so it's it loses its airspace. So I won't cut that right now, but then you put your soil in, and I have learned that I'm always putting too much soil in it first, and then you put the pot in and the plant's sticking way up. So make it a little bit lower than you think. You can always lift the plant up and add more. So I'll put that in, and this is just kind of a neat looking thing, and I think it would look really good with succulents. So I brought several different ones. So here we go. Now we're going to the theory of design. So you want a thriller in the middle of your pot, okay? So I think I need to bring that up just a little bit more. So that's going to be your focal point. So something that you really like to look at, maybe something that will be there permanently, and then you can change the color out around it. But with the succulent, these are going to be here, you know, for a while. And you also, you want to think about the plant's water needs. You don't want to plant a drought-tolerant plant with something that's really thirsty, because it's never going to look quite right. One's going to die from too much water, or one's not going to have enough. So think about that too. So we've got that one. And then this would be a nice filler. So it will kind of work as a filler and a spiller as it grows. I know that you can see that, but this definitely is a spiller. And this just goes all over the place. So it's not looking so good right now, but wait just a minute. This in here, I've got some little rosettes and little hens and chicks. And we're getting a little garden, okay? So let's see if you hold that tippet. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And you can come up to the table and look at it afterwards. So then, one more thing, I love to add a little figurine or a seashell or a rock, and then it kind of tells a story. So there's, I've got all sorts of things like these little birds. You know, if you just, well, that's probably a little bit big, so you have to just kind of try things like this little figurine I have, this little guy here. Doesn't he look cute? Mm-hmm. Like he's the gardener. So that's really fun to do. So just let your imagination go. This was another thing that I found over there this morning. Beautiful. But in the pot, let's see, even if you had just this kale and put this in there, that just makes it a piece of art, and put it in a planter. So just you can go wild and just look at things. And so sometimes it's all about the planter. Of course, these are very decorative. The Televera, you do have to be careful in the wintertime because they may freeze, but if it's on a patio or something, that's okay. So if you just put something, something that's just green, sticking out like that, there you've got a nice little thing of interest. And this here, another thing that's very shallow, so choose a plant that doesn't have a big root system like vines, and this will eventually grow up. And then you can put a little swan in there. And there again. So you're getting the idea how just to keep things going. So let's see, what else do we have? And don't be afraid to put in a little bit of fake stuff too, because sometimes you could just make it work. So sometimes I'll take this off and just, well, you saw how it is in here. It's not going to rip off. But that'll give you your seasonal thing. So if you have a pot with a grass or something like that, that's just kind of maybe not, real showy, pop something like that in, and then you can do Christmas things around, or ornaments, or put solar lights in your pots. That's a really neat thing to do too. So of course, we've got the kale, and so I think I'm going to let Michelle plant up a pot because she has learned what to do, and so we'll just put this in the front here, and yes, we're going to do it in a smart pot because it is so smart. And I have a little bit of soil in here. And so she's going to take the principles that she's learned, and what she does, she comes on Thursdays, and we do these little videos, and so she knows what to do now. So is that going to be your thriller? Okay. Okay, yeah, you can just set it in there because I didn't put as much in there. Right. And you don't have to stay with that recipe. You know, you can switch it up. Sometimes I don't have quite the right spiller or something, but while she's putting that together, I'm going to show you some other neat plants for the fall. These pepper plants are just starting to come out now. This is the one that has more purples in it, but there's also ones that have purple leaves or the red and the yellow peppers on it. They're not really edible, but they look cute. Auxiliaries, I've been seeing a lot of the purples that are shown in fall arrangements this year, and this is a nice plant because it will come back year after year. It looks really good now. Through the winter, and in the spring and the summer, it kind of dies down. But it has these little corms, and so you want to put this in the shade, and like under a tree, and it'll just multiply. This is a fun little thing. It's been growing all summer. I just threw some little starts in, so that's a candle holder. And so the succulents will start draping down from that. How you doing over there? Okay. Yes, you can have it there. You want, Tara. So I was just going to tell you a little history about Dory's Gardens, where I've been a landscaper for over 20 years, and somebody asked me to plant flowers one day, some pansies, and I just fell in love with the whole gardening aspect. I never had done much gardening, but I'm probably an artist before I'm a gardener, but I love to look at a yard as a palette, and so you use a lot of the same design elements, and just like when you're designing a room, you're designing your outdoor room. And so I had so much fun working with colors and textures, and I do consultations and actually get down on my hands and knees and put mulch out and do all that stuff too. But in the last 7 years, I thought, oh, look at what she did. Isn't that lovely? Would that take 5 minutes? So, thank you, Mom. Yes, you're done. Okay, so with Dory's Gardens, I had an opportunity to open up a little shop in an alleyway now behind Brady's Coffee, and I was there for about 4 years and had outgrown the shop and was looking for another place, thought that this one house was going to work, but it fell through the night before closing. I thought, well, that's okay. I'll just go back to landscaping. Lord blessed me for 4 years. It was really fun, and I'll just do something else. Well, I was driving down the street giving a friend a wheelbarrow. There was a house for sale. I was like, oh, it's not really my style house, but I'll just look at it. Went to the backyard. It was a blank slate, and it just opened up a vision for a garden shop. And so I came to the front, and my neighbor said, are you thinking of buying that place? I said, well, I don't know. How would you feel about a garden shop being in the backyard? And she said, well, it used to be a bed and breakfast. So I thought, it's already zoned. And it was. And so then began this role of just stepping into something that I had always wanted to do. God made a provision. If I had stopped and really thought about it logically, probably wouldn't have gone there. But he just worked it all out, and now it's just so much fun. And I just, my main point is to create community, provide a place of inspiration and encouragement. And so you can come and bring your lunch there, or a cup of coffee. It's like visiting me in my backyard, but things are for sale. So we just have a lot of fun there. So come and visit sometime, and just enjoy the community, Dory's Gardens, and it's where inspiration awaits you on the Lavender Gate. And so I hope today you were encouraged and inspired to step out there and make yourself something pretty, because it's your garden that greets you when you come home. And a few flowers can bring a lot of joy to you and your neighbors, because your yard is somebody else's view. So thanks so much for having me, and if you have any questions afterwards, I'm here to answer them.